Hello everybody, my name is Shynal and today I'm going to be talking about book banning and its effects on the public. So starting off, we're going to be covering some very baseline information about book banning and all its subcategories, but at the end of the video, after the interview portion, I'm going to be including a lineup of all of the sources I used MLA style, and I will also be putting them in the description of this video, so you have easy access to all of the information that I used. But other than that, enjoy. Alrighty, so in this video, we're going to be talking about book banning and its causes and effects and a couple other small subcategories. We're also talking about book challenging and the differences between the two. There's one small thing that sets book banning and book challenging apart from each other, and I'm hoping to make that memorable for you guys so you can understand the difference. Alrighty, so book banning is when the books are actually taken out of the public domain or free access areas. So some of those areas can include libraries, public, or in schools. Book challenging is the attempt to take those books out for specific reasons. So the difference is that book banning is actually the removal of the books, while challenging a book is the act of trying to remove the books. This is kind of a crazy topic, but how does this happen? The books are removed from public domain, and like I've previously given the example of libraries, so after that you can only access them by spending money, either in stores or online, or if you have the chance to borrow them from somebody who already has owned the book. Why does this happen? People like school districts, organizations, or even local governments can decide that specific books or series contain specific materials that are deemed unfit for the consumption of the public, so they're then removed from public domain. Even though there are more than just a handful of subjects that get banned, including all their subsections, the main four that I found during my research and the ones I focused on were violence, identity, sexual content, and politics. In Texas, there was a statewide report in 2013 on what books were banned in schools, including the reasons that they were banned. But not all Texas schools reported, because this was an open records request study, which means the schools can decide to share what books, or if any, were banned in their schools, but they are not required to. This led to only about 63% of schools reporting, showing that the level of education that banned the most was high school. 58 books were banned out of the school libraries in the year of 2013, including many popular ones like To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, Remembering September 11th, and the Hunger Games series. Next, we're going to be talking about Margarita Engel, who is an author, a novelist based in America who has won awards such as the National Book Winner, the PEN USA, and the James Adams Award. In her words, she says, "Writers in the United States are currently suffering through a barrage of hostile attacks against our books. This repression strikes me as the most drastic assault in the impressive freedom since the blacklist of the McCarthy era, and the range of targeted books truly astonishes. These children require a large variety of reading materials in classrooms, school libraries, and public libraries. They deserve to choose what they read with the guidance of their parents, teachers, and librarians. They don't need rules by their classmates, parents, and in many cases, fanatics who aren't directly involved with the schools other when they are acting on self-appointed censors. Book bans benefit no one and harm everyone. Onlookers who shrug and claim the bans will help sell books fail to understand the landscape of literature for young readers." Book banning is not something that only affects school-age or college-age individuals. It affects everyone. If the information that is published to the public is taken away because somebody else has decided that it isn't okay for you, that isn't alright. Our voice as a public body is strong, and we have to educate ourselves on the plethora of crucial subjects around us. As stated by the Collegiate High School FSWC's American history teacher, Mr. Jesse Sutton, the world is going to keep on spinning and life will continue going on. But if we don't continue to teach and reiterate our history, it will repeat itself. Some of those things include discrimination, racism, fascism, and violence. But why did I personally pick this topic? My grandmother used to bring me to the Ponta Gorda Public Library, where I had the chance to read a plethora of different things that a lot of kids my age didn't get to be educated about. And to this day, all that comes in handy. I also love reading banned books, as two of my top books, Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky and The Secret History by Donna Tartt, are included in the book banned list. But sadly, I had to pay for those books because they aren't in my public library, which is kind of sad. So just remember that your education is always crucial and important. Hello, welcome back to the pod. Are you smarter than a book banner? What's your name and grade?
I'm Seth. I'm a senior, so I'm in 12th grade.
Do you have a favorite book?
One of my favorite books is The Secret History, or can you grab that? Or The Hunger Games, which I'm rereading now. I've reread like 3 times.
Do you have any previous knowledge about book banning?
I wrote an essay on it last semester.
Okay.
And I know the main thing is that book banning it's not like a book can be completely taken out of public libraries. It's more so that books are being taken out of public libraries in certain states, or they're not being completely out of reach of the public, but some people just can't afford to just buy books because they're getting more expensive recently.
Do you have any previous experience with banned books?
One book that you gave me was Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is one of the most banned books. I know The Hunger Games is also banned in a few states, and so is The Secret History.
The dubstep music in the background.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with the pod?
No.
Right.
Right.
Alrighty, on to the next person. Hi, Cady. What's your name and grade?
My name is Cady, and I am a senior, so I'm in 12th grade.
Do you have a favorite book?
I do. I really like The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath.
I love that book. Do you have any previous experience, like previous knowledge about book banning?
Honestly, not really. I probably should know more than I do. But personally, my belief is that no book should be banned. I think knowledge should be accessible to everyone.
Beautiful. Do you have any previous experience, like with banned books? Have you read, like, any of them?
I probably have. I don't know which books are banned in certain states and whatnot. I'm assuming that I probably have in my lifetime, but I don't know.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I love reading. I think reading and writing should be accessible to everyone. I don't think any book should be banned. Also, go Cheyenne.
Thank you. Next person. Alrighty, hello and welcome to the third installment of Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner? Today's beautiful guest is
Jessie Pomerantz.
What grade are you in, Jessie?
I'm in 12th grade.
Wonderful. Do you have a favorite book?
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Ooh. And do you have any previous knowledge on book banning?
A little bit.
What is it? What would you like to share? Anything?
I know that a lot of schools are banning books, oddly enough, the Harry Potter series in some states because it's associated with witchcraft and we don't want the young minds to be exposed to something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have any previous experience with banned books, like personally?
not personally, no, but I know at the library I used to volunteer at, they had a whole section dedicated to banned books for the kids.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Not
Anything
really.
at all? Alrighty. Thank you.
That's it.
Welcome to the fourth installment of Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner? I'm sorry for the noise. This is the only place we have to record. Today I'm joined with the beautiful... Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Sandy, and I am in 11th grade.
Wonderful. Do you have a favorite book?
Not really. I kind of just like all the books that I've read.
Do you have any previous knowledge about book banning?
Yeah.
What would you like to share? Anything?
They ban a lot of books because they don't want people to be smart and overthrow the government.
All right. Do you have any previous experience with banned books personally?
I had to hunt down Perks of Being a Wallflower for you. They
Yeah.
didn't have it on this floor.
She went and gave me a double annotated version of Perks Being a Wallflower for my birthday, and it's like a prized possession of mine. But it's kind of hard to find that book in stores now. It's like you have to either buy it online, like a cheap copy, or like have like the gods like bestow upon you the chance to have it. Is there anything else you'd like to share at all that you know?
No, not really. I don't think so.
Alrighty. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Alrighty, welcome to the final installment of Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner? Today we have...
My name is Jamari Bird, and I am a junior.
Okay, Jamari, do you have a favorite book?
So I have a couple favorite books. One of my favorite books of all time, though, if I had to pick one, is definitely Song of Achilles. That is such a very heartfelt, beautiful. It's very tragic, but it's such a good book, and it completely changed my life.
I love Song of Achilles. It's so good. Do you have any previous knowledge about book banning?
For what I know that there was a lot of books that recently got labeled as banned. A lot of books that I kind of grew up on, and books that I didn't think would be like needed to be banned. But it just doesn't make sense to me, because we need those books, because not only does it keep us educated as citizens, it also gives us insights of what can happen if we don't change our society, or if we don't grow and evolve. And it's like a lot of these books that they're banning are very eye-opening, and a lot of people aren't seeing that. And I think it's on purpose. So I think it's so important as students that we be engaged in these books and understand what they're trying to tell us, because there are so many hidden and clear messages that a lot of people just aren't seeing, because they're choosing either to not read it, or we're losing access to these very powerful and knowledgeable books.
Ugh, that is amazing. So you mentioned having books from like your childhood being banned. So do you have any previous experience with banned books?
So if I'm correct, like, one book that I really grew up on was Wonder. That was like one of my favorite books of all time. It was just such a beautiful story, the way it was executed. And if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure now they're removing it from the curriculum.
I believe so.
Which, if I'm correct, which I think is very wild to me, because I learned a lot about it in school, and it brings just awareness to so many issues. Specifically, like, a big one I think is bullying, which obviously in a school setting can be very harmful, because there's so many new forms of bullying. Not only just do we have like in-person bullying, there's cyberbullying. There's just so many negative connotations of bullying, and I think that book did a really good job of addressing it and how it was handled and everything. And especially for kids that are elementary and middle school, that's something that definitely needs to be taught in the curriculum, because a lot of people aren't aware of the effects of bullying, and it's just so normal in our society, and a lot of people just get away with it like it's not a big deal, when it is, because it can completely change someone's life in the worst way.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you've done amazing. Do you have anything else you'd like to share at all?
If I have one thing to share with the audience, I would say definitely read some books. Find something that you think you would enjoy, because I promise you, if you don't like reading, it's honestly just because you haven't found the right book. And just always stay informed, and always be on top of things, and always learn. Always try and put yourself out there to learn new things.
Oh, thank you, Jamari.
Of course, thank you for interviewing me. I really enjoyed this.
And now we're done with our final installment of Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner? Thank you. Hello, and thank you for coming to watch my educational video and my interviews for Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner? If you would like to do your own personal research, be sure to check out any of these 10 sources I used. These sources were also given to all of the interviewees, because they also decided to do their own personal research. Thank you so much for watching, and come in for the next installment of Are You Smarter Than a Book Banner?